From dry stack to custom hybrid water-cooled exhaust. The old dry stack system we had with the Detroits, it was a disaster. Every time we ran the engines, the deck got coated in black soot, our feet turned black just sitting in the hammock chairs, everything was stored up top was filthy, including the solar panels, and the engine room would fill up with smoke. It stunk, it smoked, and there was no way I was hooking that mess back up to our new Cummins. So I designed something different. Not dry, not wet, somewhere in between. So obviously one of the critical components of getting this repower done is getting the exhaust sorted. Gotta have a path from the engine out the boat. So originally this boat was set up with a dry stack exhaust, which means that all of the exhaust that comes out of the engines goes through the center of the boat, out of the top of the boat. It's a good setup. There's minimal maintenance with it, but there's some downsides. For one, you get soot on the top of the boat, which is never good. And for me, one of the biggest hurdles that I had on this boat was proper engine room ventilation. And there's vents on the side of the boat that were the original intake vents for the boat, I'm assuming. And then there was some minimal stack exit stuff, but it wasn't much. So when we were coming down from Alaska, we were pulling a vacuum on the boat. Water was getting sucked into the boat. So I had to kind of balance my priorities with engine room ventilation and exhaust. So what we've decided is that we've wanted to pull air into the top of the boat. So we wanted the air to come in where the exhaust usually went out of the boat, because that is the highest, farthest place away from the water to eliminate any chance of getting water sucked into the boat through the engine room ventilation. And then we're using the original side vents as an exit for the air. This required us to rethink how the exhaust was going to go. We had two big mufflers, and yes, they are huge mufflers, but they work. I mean, if you can quiet down a Detroit diesel, you can quiet down a Cummins 6.7. So we looked into some options for mufflers. They were all ridiculously expensive. So we decided, you know what, we've got these, we'll just reuse them. So what ended up happening is we kind of ended up with a bit of a hybrid exhaust. We kept the original dry mufflers, and a good portion of the exhaust through the engine room is dry. And then just before it kicks down, or right after it kicks down to go out of the side of the boat, we inject water there. And that basically just cools the last section of exhaust and makes sure that where it's coming out of the side of the boat, where it's exposed to paint and bottom paint and things like that, is not going to get too hot. And that's basically what we ended up with. We had to cut some holes in the side, some fairly large holes to weld it all in, but that was the idea.
Before we could even think about yanking the Detroits or dropping the new Cummins, we had to get rid of all the old steel exhaust piping. It ran straight through the dry stack and was seriously heavy. It took some head scratching and some muscle and a sawzall, but between the two of us we managed to wrestle it out. This was the first step toward building our new hybrid exhaust system. My, what big tubes you have.
So what we've done here is we've decided to keep the original mufflers because they still seem to be in pretty good shape and they work really well. So they shouldn't have any problem quieting the new engines, seeing as the new engines are quieter to begin with. But what we are going to do is, rather than go up through the stack with the exhaust, which is right here.
Here, show them right up the stack. Can you see anymore, or because you have it closed off you can't see?
Oh, you can still kind of see up there. So the exhaust used to go up there, which, you know, dry stack exhaust is great. However, a few drawbacks. One is soot on the deck upstairs, which should be better with the new engines anyway. But the main issue I had was there was not enough ventilation in this engine room. So I unfortunately had to sacrifice the exhaust pass for the stack to get more ventilation in. So we decided we're going to go through the bottom of the boat with the exhaust. So it's going to be an underwater exhaust. There will be an above water bypass for when we're driving at speeds too low to properly evacuate the exhaust. But it's going to go out kind of maybe a foot or so below the chine on that side.
Port side?
And starboard. Both sides.
Wait. We're getting 2 holes in the boat? I thought it was only 1.
We have 2 engines.
I actually never clued into that because I'm waiting to finish my bottom paint for him to cut holes in the boat. I did not realize that is going to be 2 holes. I thought both exhausts would come together out 1 hole.
No, that's not allowed. Can't do that. So there's going to be one on the port side, one on the starboard side.
Oh, shite. Okay.
So I was looking this morning. These are our main exhaust pipes. These are 5-inch, which will be more than adequate for what we've got for motor. And I was kind of just getting a rough idea on what kind of space I have here. So basically, this guy's going to come out. And I was looking at putting that one on top, but obviously that doesn't work because I don't have enough ceiling space. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to clock this guy at 45 degrees, and I'm going to have to cut this guy in half. So it's going to kind of look like that. And then I can adjust my ceiling height to you know, what kind of clearance I want. So that's the plan.
And that's this week coming up.
Yes, hopefully. I've got flanges out, drawings out to waterjet, and hopefully I'll see those flanges sooner rather than later. That's from our friends at Foreman CNC, and then I can start building an exhaust. Big thing is going to be cutting the hull and putting the through pipe into the hull itself.
Is that what the flange is for? The hull, or
there's a flange for the hull, but not mainly. No, that's I'll get that flange cut locally because that's just aluminum and it's pretty easy to cut. The stainless is a little bit more of a problem.
So the flange that Foreman CNC is creating for us.
Yeah, they're stainless.
But you designed it, drew it up on CAD, sent him the design.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty simple because all I have to do is replicate this. So I've got a mating flange here. There's a mating flange where the exhaust goes into the muffler. I had to delete the inlet on the other side of the muffler because this was set up for a V12 engine, so it's got 2 inlets. So that's going to be capped off on the far side. And then I've got one more flange that matches this one where it meets the hull down low.
Realized that he was going to put 2 holes in the hull.
You can't honestly say that
I
would
didn't
go against symmetry.
I had seriously
and
had
run
no clue.
one to the other side.
I thought there'd just be 1 hole.
No.
Now, are these holes in front or behind the stabilizer fins?
In front. Probably by 12 feet in front of the stabilizers.
So they're quite forward of center of the boat.
Yes, well forward.
And that's because our engine room is actually forward of center. So everybody's wondering about the weight that we're taking out of this boat, what's going to happen. We think the boat actually might ride better.
It probably will underway, especially if we end up going with ballast tanks and I can lighten it up. I think it'll be a better ride, it'll be a better attitude, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, because right now she's pretty bow heavy.
Yeah, and it plows a bit, probably due to the extension on the back, which we'll see how that works out. But dunno.
We've never done this before. We're just going for it because, you know, that's what we do.
Look at me, I'm a what is it?
I'm a marine architect.
I'm a marine architect. And now one of the moments of truth. It's time to cut a hole in the side of the boat. There's a hole in my ship. If you want to see more of what's really going on behind the scenes, join our crew at onboardtongaroa.com. Every Wednesday we post a Wheelhouse Weekly video. It's just us sharing what's happening in real time. You'll also get early access to videos, crew-only gear, and a private place to chat with us and other members on Discord. We built it just for folks like you. Hope to see you there. So things are kind of coming together for parts supplies this week, which is super exciting because it's really tough to keep going when you're waiting on specific items, even though you have some things that you can do. I have a specific order in which I like to try to do things. And if I'm missing anything in that order, it kind of screws me up. So exciting part is I've got our flanges water jet. So that's the outside one is the exhaust flange. So I can do the hull to muffler joints. And then the inside flange is the air intake flange for the engines. So those are done. I also got, you can see the box there, but I've got one unwrapped, exhaust manifolds. If you guys have been following along, you'll know that I was building an exhaust manifold from stainless steel. Problem is I've run out of time. I still have quite a long time to build those manifolds, and one of my saying is either you have time or you have money. You have to spend one of those. And unfortunately, I've run out of time to spend. So we've had to spend a bit of money to get some OEM Cummins QSB manifolds, which is nice because it's just one less thing to have to ever worry about. So yeah, we've got basically everything I need to start building out exhausts on the engines, which is going to be pretty much my next step.
Okay, what?
Okay, you see the ratchet strap there?
Yeah.
So I'm going to align this, and then when I tell you, I need you to tighten down that ratchet strap.
Okay.
So if you could loosen the ratchet strap, you're probably going to have to get two hands on it because you might have to hold this hook with one hand as you tighten with the other hand, because this is going to want to fall off as soon as you loosen it.
Okay. Go ahead and tighten it.
Yep.
You're right, it fell off. I got it.
You don't have to tighten it super tight, just snug it up. Perfect. Actually go a little farther. Perfect. That should hold it. Thank you. That's
Okay,
it.
you're welcome.
That looks good.
That's it?
So this is the new exhaust exit on the outside of the boat. What I'm doing currently is just getting everything fitted up, which is basically cutting and grinding 1/4 inch thick aluminum. But as you can see, I've got it fit up there. I have to do a little bit of adjustment around that peripheral just to give me root to weld into. Yeah, so it's in. I've done a front edge here just to give it a little bit of a kick out when the water, when the boat rocks and this starts to go underwater. That'll help keep the water away from the exhaust coming out.
Are you going to do more of a kick out?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
Oh.
Just a little clamshell.
That is a little baby clamshell.
Yep, it's enough where water hitting that should kick out pretty good.
Okay.
So that's the idea anyway.
So we have a hole in the starboard side of the boat, but we also need one in the port side. So this is what it looks like in the starboard side. And you can hear Blaine cutting in the port side right now. Let's go see.
Pretty slow going because this is 1/4 inch thick aluminum.
That's thick. Show us that.
Ooh.
So what is that, 1/4 inch?
1/4 inch.
Wow.
So basically this hull is 1/4 inch to here, and then it's 5/16 from here down to the keel, and the keel is 3/8 thick. So a lot of weight down low. So some people might ask, why is your exhaust so far forward on your boat? Well, here's why. This is the back of the boat. That's where my exhaust is. That's where the engine is. and that's why it's so far forward. All right, that's all cleaned up and trimmed out. So now I will pop inside and weld a flange on, and then I'll lock that in place, and then I'll trim where I need to make that how I want it. But that's another side.
So we're putting in the port
Exhaust through hull.
Okay.
I'll need you, basically I have to align the cut, so you'll have to do the same thing, loosen up the ratchet strap, tighten the ratchet strap once I get it rotated in the right orientation. Easy peasy. You got this.
Okay. If I can get into the engine room first. Okay, let's see the hole he's put in the side of my boat. Huh, that's a hole. Loosened.
This one's a little tighter than the other one.
It is. Okay.
That's tight or no?
Nope, don't let go. Wait till I tell you. You're holding it?
Yeah.
How's that look?
That's perfect.
Is that good?
Yep. That's awesome.
Okay.
You're
Are you
free to
tack
go.
welding them now?
What's that?
Are you tack welding them now?
Well, not when it's raining. So I'll have to wait until we get a break in the rain.
Yeah, it's drizzling out, which makes...
Plus I've got to grind this one first.
Okay, he's got to grind, and you can't really tack weld in the rain, which is kind of drizzling right now, so we'll wait on that. So now we have both holes in the side of the boat cut. What?
Before you go out of the engine room,
Yeah?
still kind of in the engine room,
Yeah, right here.
can you go back down to where you were and pass the grinder out to me?
Grinder. I don't know, will it fit?
Otherwise you can drop it down to me.
Hold on, you got hold on, you got cords everywhere.
Yeah, you can unplug this one. I'll plug it in down here.
Okay, go, pull. Wow. There you go.
Thank you.
Can't believe that fit. But yes, we've got two exhaust holes now, one on the starboard, one on the port. And look how much forward they are. So there's starboard, which is forward of midships, our exhaust. And there's port. So we're gonna wait until he gets all those welded up and ground and everything, and then I'm gonna have to go back to epoxy barrier coat, 5-6 coats around each of the bare metal, and then bottom paint and all of that. So that's why I'm not putting on my last coat of bottom paint till that all gets done. Okay, so it's early morning, Sunday of long weekend, and we are, what? That's a big pole, babe.
That's what she said.
Oh, you're so funny. Where were you taking her?
I want to get cut.
We are very lucky here because Jim from Action Welding, which is amazing, trusts Blaine enough to give him his key. So Blaine is in the metal container where we're gonna cut this big pipe. We're gonna cut it on here.
Yes.
So talk to me, we're gonna move the pipe into that machine.
Yeah, we're gonna walk around it, and then there's rollers that we're gonna set it down on.
Okay, is it far roller set up yet?
Yep, it's all set up.
Okay.
Ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
You can let your end go. Now that it's on the roller, I'm good.
Controlling it on the roller.
Okay. A little bit more. That's probably enough.
My God, that's
Better sound? Yes. So this is the new exhaust coming in, or going out I should say, but I've got to cut this rail here. Unfortunately it's kind of in the way and I don't need support right there, so there'll be an open spot just right there for the exhaust to sneak by. Plus I have to replumb these two water hoses here. Those are the ones that go to the washer and dryer, and obviously they're not going to work where they are now. So I'll have to alter that a little bit, but that's easy peasy. Et voila!
I am needed in the engine room.
Huh?
Basically, I mark things and he holds things in place.
Come on, go shoot. Gotta get my bubble level here.
You turn off the music too.
Ah, that's probably a good idea.
Then say you're about the level again.
Gotta get my bubble level here.
What? What's that for? Oh, got it. Okay. Okay.
Right there.
Was it very hard?
That's it. Thank you.
No problem.
Couldn't do without you.
It's like a mad skill I have with marking stuff for him.
Now you want to tack weld that for me?
I don't know how to weld.
We'll have to fix that.
Yet! I will learn how to weld.
We'll have to fix that. So what I've got going on now is I'm building the exhaust for the new engines, and this is basically what goes from the hull to the muffler. Yeah, just it pertains of fitting a bunch of pieces of pipe together. So a lot of cutting, a lot of tack welding. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Why is this one so short? Why didn't you just use a long one right there?
Because that's actually going to be a hose joint.
Oh.
Because I want to have flex in it. It's not going to move much, but there will be some flex or expansion with heat. So if I made this all solid, then that's going to put a lot of load on all these joints. So if I just put two pieces of hose, one at the top, one at the bottom here, that gives it some flex room for stress release.
That makes sense. Because every exhaust needs stress release.
Relief.
Relief, sorry. Release.
I mean, I could make comments about release, but that's just
No,
inappropriate.
that's enough. Oh, Blaine
Very precarious. So
has a
be
very
careful.
precarious exhaust setup.
So, I need
So that's what it's
to-
going to look like?
I mean, that's super hoarsely, but yeah.
But, okay. Is that going to be tighter so we don't whack our head?
Nope.
I like it,
Because I want
though.
to leave room for insulation there.
Oh,
Plus, I have to leave an air gap too, so that it won't get much closer than that.
I like it.
But I mean, considering the other pipes came down right here,
True.
the likelihood of hitting your head on that is considerably less than what it used to be.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, where's our fuel tank going?
Back in there.
It will fit back there?
I hope so. We'll find out. The exhaust is removable, so we just get it out of the way when we go to.
Okay, what do you need?
Okay, so I've got to tack this flange to this one.
Yeah.
So I need you to go back in there,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to hold that flange in place for me while I do at least 2 tacks in there.
2 tacks.
Yeah. Just watch that vertical is just barely sitting there behind you. So I'll get it kind of up into.
You get it where you want it. The strap is kind of in the way.
Okay, take that vertical down for me there. Just sit it on the
Like,
countertop right.
Take the whole thing off?
Yep, just pop it off and set it down. Perfect.
Okay.
Strap isn't really in the way. Take the outboard into that and swing it aft just a hair.
Aft.
Or sorry, forward.
Okay.
Okay, now just let it go for now. I got a better. It'll have to be fine adjusted, but it's close enough.
Oh, you took it off. I lost it.
Oh, because I had to use the hand. Okay, hold it there. Take my hand off.
What?
Taking my hand off.
Yeah. You wanted to kick up a bit?
I'll have to do a lot of adjustment here to get that in mated up. But,
Why do you want to kick up a little bit?
because you want to get it high and then you want it to go downhill from there, because if you build moisture in the pipe, you want it to be able to run out, not run back.
Okay, where do you learn all this stuff?
Hours of on websites and
Reading.
and then just other than that, experience.
Oh, it looks good. I like it. Sexy.
It should be. So basically what we have here is trying to get these guys welded into the hull, and my welder just can't do it. I can just sit there and hold it on a spot, but it's just not enough to get it to melt in. So we're gonna have to get some assistance on this one.
So as we explained, Blaine's welder does not have enough oomph. So we had to bring in the professionals.
Well,
And I don't know where they are. How's it going?
I think he's mostly done with welding that on.
Oh, that looks kind of cool under there.
I'm just working on getting this piece of wood off of here.
He's got to come in here and weld?
Yeah.
It's good to get these welded, but my God, what is this, MIG or TIG?
This is me.
This MIG welding?
Yeah.
Smoke, spatter, it's just messy.
So
I think I'm a little bit spoiled with TIG welding.
So stressful.
Why is it stressful? I feel like we should have a fire extinguisher in here. Oh, you have a fire extinguisher in here.
Well, I am on fire watch, so
Oh, are you?
yeah. It's not as bad now, but when they first started welding, when there was a little bit of an opening, there was all sorts of spatter coming in here. Now it's better.
The exhaust tubes on the outside are done. Let's go see what Max has done. This is really a hard weld, so let's see. There's lots of extra metal there because we're going to grind it down and make it pretty, and then I'm going to do some painting. What are you doing?
I'm not putting my head right through. It may fit in, but I might not get it back out again.
Your ears will get stuck.
Yeah,
Do not put your head into the hole.
that would be embarrassing.
I would laugh though.
I'm sure you would.
So we now have exhaust pipes out the side of the boat. All done. And Blaine's handing the torch back to the welders. thank you very much to Action Welding for fitting us in. Like Jim, Max, you guys are rock stars. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Alrighty.
So here's the scoop. The exhaust pipes are welded into place, which now it's my turn. I can get epoxy barrier coat on within 12 hours. Like if I can do it right away, I'm not going to need iodine and all of that, which will make life a lot easier. But I have to grind these to make them a little bit more rounded and pretty because they're on the outside of our boat. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to get my first layer of epoxy barrier coat on. At least that's the plan. Blaine says I can round all of here easily enough, but just to round this and not take off a lot of weld, especially in the middle, because it is not welded on the inside. Is that what you said, Blaine?
Yes. There's no room to weld the inside of the front edge.
Okay. Whoa, what's that you're putting on?
That's the mating exhaust pipe.
Okay, I'm grinding.
Okay.
So the big reason why I want to get these welds smooth is because any little cracks or little dings, marine life get their little tentacles into there, and that's the issue. So you can see that there's a whole bunch of places that marine life can put their little tentacles into and start to grow. Even though it's above the water line, water's going to get up there. But I don't want to take off too much weld because you can't replace the metal that you take off, and this is welded. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth it as much as possible. I'm going to get on 2 coats of epoxy barrier coat, and then I'm going to get in some epoxy filler. I'm going to fill it and smooth it out, kind of like caulking with my finger, and then we'll put on some more coats of epoxy barrier coat. That's the plan. What do you think? I think it's a good plan. Let's do it. I want to know who makes the writing on these paint cans so small, because seriously, as soon as I turned 50, I couldn't see anymore. Okay, I'm going to put on 1 coat now and another coat in about 2 hours, and let's see if I can get 3 coats on today. Oh, shit. Good morning. You know what time it is? It is time to fill up around these exhaust belts on the outside. So I have, mixed some epoxy filler, and now I'm going to see what I can do to make the outside of this look pretty. Okay, I'll show you what I've done. See, sculpted it, and I can sand it and make it pretty, but I've still got some, so let's see if I've got enough to do starboard side. If not, I'm gonna have to mix up some more pretty quick. It's a Friday, it's 5:30, and I only just now was able to put epoxy barrier coat on my epoxy filler. So I sanded it off because it was just too hot at 2 o'clock. I sanded it off. I did the best I can. Remember, we are not a mega yacht. We are an adventure boat. So I sanded it off, smoothed off a little bit of the weld, so it doesn't look that bad. I'll put on another 3 coats of epoxy barrier coat, and then it's going to be time to get on that bottom paint, another coat. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with the red stripe. He's been working his arse off down here, and it's hot. Look at that redneck of mine, redneck honey.
Oh yeah.
It's so much cleaner.
Yeah, I can actually move in here now.
This exhaust is looking great. It looks like you're wearing a white t-shirt online.
I'm sure it does. Should see it in the sunshine. Yeah, this
we
exhaust is...
were having fun last night. We were on the couch, and I've got a little bit of belly, and he has a little bit of belly, and we were doing the what?
Truffle shuffle.
What?
From the Goonies.
No, how do you do it? Truffle shuffle. Okay, so what have you been up to?
Well, other than cleaning, been fitting the starboard exhaust, so it's fit. This isn't the final how it's going to be. That's just a placeholder in the middle, and there's going to be a hose up top and a hose down below to give it some movement.
So that angle is going to be a hose? No,
this angle is going to come down, and then there's going to be a wet elbow right here.
Oh, okay.
Or a water shower head here.
Oh, so are you going to lift up that angle a bit more?
No. Basically, it's going to be cut right about here, and that's where the shower input's going to be. So that will cool the exhaust, and then I can run a hose there and a hose down there, and that'll give it some movement for heat flex. Because right now it's fairly fixed, and if it gets heat expansion in that pipe, if I were to not do anything with cooling, it could crack something somewhere. So I'm just trying to give it a little bit of flex at some point in there. And also it eliminates the need to have to insulate the entire thing as well. So I'll only have to insulate that piece, and then the rest of it will be water cooled. Cool. So that's the plan. And then I've got this side started, but I'm taking a break off of that for the time being and kind of working on some other stuff. I thought you were going to go right across the whole like curvature and everything.
What do you mean?
Like doing the outside curve of the, like I thought you were going to go right down to here with
well, it's not a direct curve. What do you think?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter to me. I just thought you were going to do that.
So put it right on the curve? But that's on an angle. Well, let me retape it and show you. That better? See, we actually do ask each other's, opinion. I kind of might like this a little bit better.
Or what the opinions are, but we ask the opinions.
What do you think? So that's right on the edge.
Don't know. Can't say for sure.
I'll bring it right to the edge.
I was actually talking about taping this like on the bottom where it comes.
Really?
Yeah. Right along that bottom, and then paint that red too, that outer lip.
Okay, I'll retape it.
Roll.
Okay, so what do you think about that? So all that would be red on top.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I think it'll make a better line, right? Like it'll.
I think you're right. Okay, I'll go tape the other side and I'll get the red paint on today.
Make it so, number one.
It's not perfect, but it's a red stripe. And right now I've got to take the tape off because with this, I don't want to leave the tape on very long at all. A lot of bleeding there. Uh-oh. But that's okay, because that's gonna be covered with bottom paint. I'm just gonna throw black right on top. Okay, actually, that looks pretty good. What do you think?
So I'm just working on starting on the turbo to muffler exhaust portion. Unfortunately, I've been extremely disappointed by all of the places to get fittings and pipe and tubing from here in Vancouver. So basically what I run into is I can't get a hold of a transition cone from 3.5 inch to 4 inch. And I also can't get a transition cone from 4 inch pipe to 5 inch pipe. So what I've done here for the first one is I've just got 2 V-band flanges, and I've turned down this one side to fit in the 4 inch pipe. So this is a 3.5 inch V-band flange, that's a 4 inch. Well, sorry, they're both 3.5 inch V-band flanges. It's just that one's been turned down to a an ID to fit in the 4 inch pipe, so it's going to handle my transition for me. So I'm just going to tack those together, and then I've got to tack those to the pipe, and then I can throw them on the turbo and see how they all line up. And I touched my tungsten there as well, which really sucks. Oh well. It's tacked in. So now I can go see how it fits in the turbo. Alright, back over to my turbo. Oh, come on, get on there. So sadly, that is as tight in as I'll be able to tuck in that exhaust pipe on this side. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about any wet elbows or coolant, anything in there. So hopefully that'll work out. I'm going to do 2 flex joints, one down here at the bottom, and then there will be another one up here at the top. So hopefully I'll be able to get those to made up nicely, but we shall see. So what I'm working on now is I've got to do some slight modifications to our new exhaust manifolds. The original ones had coolant flowing through the turbo where we do not. So I've got to make basically a coolant exit on the back of the manifold. That way the manifold is still water cooled, even though the turbo isn't. So what I'm going to actually do is drill in. I'm going to tap this and I'm going to put a fitting in right here. This is a good big thick boss on here, so it's a good place to put it. And then that's where the water is going to go into the manifold, and then it'll come out from that hole up in the front. All right, so this is what I've done, and I've managed to not fuck it up. So that's my fitting, and if you look inside there, that's all been opened up. So now my coolant can come in through here, pass through the manifold, and exit right there.
Once the manifolds were modified, they were ready to mount, so naturally Blaine offered up his spine as tribute. This was not chiropractor approved.
So I'm installing the pipes that lead off the hull sides here. Shouldn't need to do any more adjustment there. I say shouldn't, but you never know. They're getting stuck down with Sikaflex this time, so hopefully they don't have to come back off again, because that would suck. So, going up permanently with this exhaust. I've got my gasket in. Exhaust, whatever I said, I'm losing my mind. Sorry I didn't film the other bit. A, I forgot, and B, it would probably not have been good for any viewers that are sensitive to swearing, because there might have been some. It was not fun. It was a horrendous pain in the butt. Not exactly easy to flex around a piece of exhaust that weighs probably 50 pounds. Yeah, and it kept sliding and falling sideways on me, and I had to line up bolt holes here, not to mention get the flange flat. Yeah, it was not pleasant, but I got it. Perseverance paid off in the end. Only a little bit of high temp sealant everywhere, so winning. And it's not coming back off again. If I have to do any more welding on this thing, it's getting welded in place. I'm not going to be removing it. Alright, that's the last of the bolts there. Okay, the next fun bit, sliding these couplers on. They're tight. I do have soap on them already to help them slip a little bit, but aha, one down. Oh, you guys missed my celebration there. I forgot I didn't have the camera turned off. Managed to get that top one slid on really easily. So that was very fortunate. Now you'll notice the top side of that is not a straight cut. That's the cut that I got on the hose from the hose place. What I usually do to get a straight cut on these is I slide them all the way onto the pipe, then I cut through, and then I line up where I want to cut with the top edge of the pipe, and then that pipe is a guide, so then I can take my razor knife and I can just run it around the edge of the pipe. Keeps the blade from wandering everywhere, and it makes a nice straight cut. So much easier and much better result, but I didn't really feel like sliding that hose on and off more times to do the uppercuts, so I just left it as is. Everything can't be perfect. And there we go. Now I need to make some brackets off the top pipe up here. I'm actually going to put hangers because that's a lot of weight there, and I'm probably going to put some reinforcement struts on the bottom as well. But for the time being, that'll do. And then my raw water input is going to be up here, and obviously this is not going to be able to stay, but anyway, not going to work. That's going to melt because that's hot part to here, and then that's where the water gets injected there, and it gets cold from there onwards. All right, so I've got my raw water hose run for the injection. It goes back to the top of the heat exchanger in the back. Let's see if I can show you guys that real quick here. Get through my jungle gym. So it injects right there, and then it actually comes from there. So it travels up the back of the muffler through, and I've kind of tucked it neatly in along the top of the muffler up there, so it's out of sight, out of mind. I just have to go and attach it with some cable clamps and whatnot, so it's affixed, but that will get water from point A to point B. All right, so I've got one cap on the side that's blanked out now, so now I just have to come around this side, clean up that flange, and I got to do a little bit of welding yet on the exhaust part on this side, but I'm just about there, and then I'll go ahead and bolt it back up again too. And then we're not far off being able to fire this. Go in with the bob just a little bit.
Oh, okay, let me do it,
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Where are you welding?
On top. Okay, eyes. Why am I snapping? Okay. So today I'm finishing tacking up all of the muffler out exhaust on Porsche. I've got basically the vertical and the out the side done. Just finishing up this upper portion here. And I'm a little bit of a stickler for symmetry, so I want to make sure the two sides, when you're glancing at it from the front of the boat, look at least close. Ideally the same, but that's unlikely to happen.
What do you mean you're anal about symmetry? Not just
a
little stickler.
I need my symmetry. I like my symmetry.
That's why we had to rebuild the whole wheelhouse, because it was an inch off center.
I have more than an inch. More than an inch. More like 2 inches. I should probably turn my pulsar off.
It is pulsing.
Yeah, it's because I was using it last time I was welding, and just don't feel like turning it off right now because I'm in the middle.
Well, you're tacking this all up. I think the plan is, because we're crunch time, is he's going to tack all this up, and then we're going to take it off the boat and give it to Jim at Action Welding to finish the big welds, because he has the stronger machine, right?
Well, no, it's not even about the stronger machine. It's just the time. It takes so long to make all these big, thick welds, and we're already way behind schedule.
How are we doing with this one?
The vertical one's done. Like, it's...
What's with just the little piece of rubber?
Because that's 2 pieces. So this is my water injection elbow here.
Oh,
so
got
that portion needs to still be fabricated, and I still need to put the pipe into that. So still some things to do, but getting there. Okay, so another important thing is always the right tool for the job. Just making the holes for the oxygen sensor here. Once again, oxygen sensors are not really required on diesels per se, but it's extra data that I'd like to have just to see where I am with how lean the engine's running. Because more air means cooler temperatures on the exhaust. So yeah, anyway.
I think I'm done. Blaine says I don't have to get all the mill scale out, but I did get it pretty flat, see? And then this. I just need a gasket. I thought I was done. Blaine said, oh, there's 2 more. You did such a good job on that one. Can you do these 2 also? There's that one. And then I think there's one over there. Oh, there it is. Okay, I keep grinding. So these allow the pipe to move, right? You don't want a stiff joint? Oh, don't look at me like that.
Yeah, this gives it a bit of flexibility.
Oh, I like it.
There won't be much movement here because this is after the muffler, and the muffler is hard mounted.
Right.
But it'll just give it a little bit of flex for like heat expansion, because this whole pipe is going to be hot up top.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, now.
Oh. Oh, we saw you make that the other day. So where's that go?
That goes into there.
Oh, into there.
Yep. A little bit of soap for lubrication because it doesn't stay slick. It gets sticky and then dries up after a while. So you don't have to worry about it sliding back off again.
Oh, the soap gets sticky.
Yeah.
Make sure they're both equal.
That looks pretty good.
Oh, you have to weld that one too?
Yep. I'm just gonna weld it in place. Because why not?
Hose clamp?
No,
Should have put the other hose clamp on.
I'm not gonna hose clamp that one yet, just in case I have to move it around a little bit to mate up to the other piece.
So what is this? Okay, wait, what is that piece? What actually is it though? It's not a punch.
It's a hydraulic fitting.
Oh.
It just so happens to have very good punch-like qualities.
Always got the right tools on board Tangaroa.
Right tools for the right job. Just over a little bit more. There we go. Check out my beautifully punched holes.
That's actually a really good idea what
Tell
you
me
did
that's
there.
not a hole punch.
That is a hole punch.
Okay, gonna need all hands on deck for this operation. And I'm putting on the stuff on the other thing.
That's the high temperature sealant.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to tape that?
Nope.
I like the color.
Yeah. It's awkward. Okay. Now hold it there for a sec. I'm gonna try to get this gasket on here without making a mess and getting it all over myself.
Sorry.
Okay. So I'm put on my shoulder, you're gonna have to take the twist.
Yep, I got the twist.
Okay.
Sorry, there we go.
Okay, coming up. I can't quite get that one yet. Got it there?
Yep.
Yeah, imagine doing this by yourself.
I can't believe you did the other one by yourself. You must have been swearing a lot.
Yeah.
Because this is definitely a two-person job.
Okay, now you're gonna have fun. You're gonna have to actually lift that and hold it up.
Lift it. Can I do it with my head?
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
Ouch.
I'll do this as fast as I can. Yeah, I think I've got it started, so you can ease off of it now.
Ooh.
And then I've got to find another.
I don't know how those people carry things on their head.
I don't bother.
Actually, it probably would have been better if I put my hair up there and would have been like a little pad.
Put your hair up there and get silicone all over it.
Huh?
Put your hair up there and get silicone all over it.
I don't care.
All right, it's got the last couple of bolts here, and then this exhaust will be all mounted permanently until next time. There we go. Done. And that's the hybrid wet-dry exhaust system. It took a lot of fabrication work, a lot of cursing, a lot of big metal, but we got it done. You're gonna have to wait and see though how it works until after the engines are done and running, because we can't give it all away. And if you don't want to miss when we get the engines running and showing you how this exhaust works, make sure you hit the subscribe button.
If you missed how we tore out the old fuel system and built our own from scratch, go watch We Ripped Out the Fuel System, then built our own. It's one of the biggest upgrades we've done so far, and it changed everything.